What's going on, everybody? SeanPierceJohnson here. I am so happy to be inside this nice and quiet room here at Strymon with Pete. We are talking Volante, and I know a lot of people are interested in it, including myself. First off, congrats on the buzz with the release. This thing has been going all across the interwebs, as they like to say. I'm a little curious to dive a little deeper into it because there's so much more to this than what I believe you described in the tech demo. It's like, let's see what we can do by taking, most people would assume the L cap on steroids, and there is some truth to that, but there's so much more to it than what it is that.
That's right. Yeah, we're excited with the response, the reaction that we've gotten. It's been overwhelmingly positive and exceeded our expectations, and we're excited to be launching it here at the show officially. So
yeah, it's definitely proving to be something that people are coming down here. They're playing it for the first time. They're really enjoying it, and what I love is that it seems to be an homage and a love letter to all things like tape echo. And as someone who has never gotten the chance to play the real tape echoes that you guys are emulating, seeing them in a form that I can easily access and easily manipulate makes all this tonal journey so much more fun. So let's go over some of the basics of what exactly Volante is.
All right. Well, first of all, in addition to tape, it's a 3-voice echo machine with each voice kind of representing the different style of magnetic media that was used. The first is the drum echo, where they'd use a spinning platter with a steel wire, and some of the most beloved units there had many tubes in the signal path. So at each stage of summing and recording and playback, there was opportunity for more kind of saturated harmonics to be introduced into the signal. And then the tape is based on our D-tape El Capistan delay, but there's a little different signal path, the way it gets in and out. We'll talk about that. And then the studio is based on a reel-to-reel studio deck, so that's the cleanest and has the highest headroom of the delays. And what we tried to do in addition to that was kind of look at a superset of features that some of these multi-head magnetic delays encompassed, and that included the ability to independently assign feedback and playback. So you can have heads playing back without feeding back, and vice versa. You can have a head feeding back that you're not listening to, and we'll be looking at that in a second. Yeah. And then on top of that, some of the old multi-head tape machines had intentionally heads spaced unevenly at intervals that will create a dense, quick buildup of repeats, so that it's not so much rhythmic as it is atmospheric. So we added a spacing control to allow you to put the heads anywhere that you want spacing-wise. And then, of course, we added panning control to each head, which is something that wasn't available in these old multi-tape machines. And then a few extra goodies in there as well, with a variety of ways to shape the sound and explore further.
Well, I think we need to hear just a little bit of it. So where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with the heads here. So an even head setting would be something that's going to be familiar, where the heads are essentially playing at even intervals. And just as kind of a general philosophy, when if you're trying to say, how does Volante work, what is it about? Head 4 is the quarter note. So whatever tempo you've tapped in or where you've set the time knob, head 4 will be the quarter note. The other 3 heads are going to be shorter delays that are based on wherever you set the spacing. And anytime you tap a new tempo or change the time, everything changes proportionally, but head 4 is always your quarter note. So here's 4 heads on simultaneously.
Very quick kind of build up, kind of fluttery.
Yeah, and you can you can change that tempo. And if I take the repeats off, it's easier to hear what the actual heads are doing. So there's 4 evenly spaced heads. So now I had head 4 repeating. So you get the kind of quarter note repetition. But I could say, let's listen to head 3 repeat. You hear a little da 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 da. I could say, let's listen to head 3 repeat, but let's not listen to head 3 play back. let's not listen to head 2 either. So you can get some interesting combinations. So here I'm listening to head 1 and 4, but feeding back from head 2 and 3. Actually, that's kind of cool. So that's with evenly spaced heads. We can have the heads feed back in a triplet spacing, and that'll, you know, like a. So now so as I move the spacing knob, the heads move smoothly and linear. It's not just 4 settings that you see on the knob. It's kind of all settings in between as well. So here at the golden ratio, the old Roland 501 basically it would be heads 1, 3, and 4. So you can hear, like, when I play, it's just kind of like feeds back in a kind of atmospheric. But if I just change the head to even spacing, it's a very different experience. I didn't change any of the heads playback or feedback, I just changed the spacing. And then the silver spacing is where the heads, the repeats are biased towards the quarter note, so they kind of bunch up towards the quarter note. And we've also added, for extra level of dynamics, you can set heads to be at half level. So if you press and hold the head, it's a 6 dB cut on those heads. So now the first 2 heads are at a lower level amplitude than the last 2. So you can get kind of a reverse effect if you're at the silver spacing. So that's some of the, you know, heads options with the spacing and feedback and playback. But let's listen to the different voices here. So we've been listening to the drum voice here, and you see as I turn the record level up, we can really get you know, very you know, highly saturated. Compensate with the echo level. It's got a wide range, so you can get a very clean experience there too. And the low cut removes the low end, and the wear is indicative of a unit whose heads and media have worn and are unable to record effectively in the high end. And we've given this a really wide range because our experience has shown that these old units, drum tape, and any other, the condition of the mechanics in the unit, and as well as the alignment of the heads, can have a profound impact on the tone. So, you know, to give an idea of the range, if we bring the low cut all the way up and keep the wear at minimum, we'll get a very band-passed high, you know, kind of trebly repeat. If we bring the wear to maximum and bring the low cut back, we'll get a very dark and murky repeat. So there's a really wide range, you know, as you kind of experiment with the different settings. So now the tape delay is a slightly cleaner signal path, and has a different dynamics. We're hearing some of the mechanics here, which will introduce a random wow and flutter in the tape mode, whereas in the drum mode, it was a bit of a cyclical, you know, perturbation to the speed of the machine. So as we bring this up past noon, we'll start to hear some of the effects of contaminants and splices and crinkles in the tape. And we have 3 speeds for the machine, so if we slow that down to half speed, anything in the delay line will shift down. But also the mechanics create a more unstable machine at a slower speed. That might sound like it's like, you know, beyond reality, but
Yeah.
I've heard things that sound like that, and you know, we didn't want to prevent someone from experiencing that if they, and if you don't want to experience that, it's really easy to create a nice clean machine as well.
And I think that's kind of the beauty of like what you guys have always been able to do better than most people is you pack it full of features that enable those classic tones that people are obviously going to chase, but why restrict it to just the classic thing? It's the 21st century.
Right.
We have to bring something new to the table in order to keep music going and to keep exploration and experimentation going.
Right.
And I think you guys have done it stellarly with this.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that is part of the you know, part of the excitement about Volante is you know, trying to you know, bring something that's hopefully going to invite experimentation and creation. We've also added a sound on sound mode where you get a sound on sound looping that that won't. So you can go into sound on sound here by pressing and holding that, and you see that the delay is still active, the multi-head delay. If I want to set a loop, I'll splice in. So now I've got a loop going there. And I can reverse the loop. And still play over it. And the loop will continue to degrade as it cycles. And then by pressing and holding the on button will hold the loop so it won't degrade any further, and I can continue to play over it. And I can change delay parameters. And then I can pause the loop.
And you got the slowdown in there.
And you can adjust these slowdown times, so if I just press and hold these two, now I've set a very slow slowdown time. And I can clear the loop just by hitting the splice again. So there's, you know, a wide range of, you know, kind of fun things and explorations you can get into. And well, we have panable stereo heads as well. That's an easy option, easy thing to just place each head in the stereo field that you want to. And spring reverb is also in there that has not been on in any of the sounds we've listened to so far. But with the multiple heads, it's easy to get very kind of reverby, atmospheric things. But we've actually got a spring, like the old Space Echoes had a small tank built in. So the spring is independent, so you can listen to just the spring if you want. Or you can run the echo into it. Eight presets as well on board without any external hardware, so you can basically go from your knob position to whatever preset you've recalled, and then to change the preset, you just easily press the favorite button, and then now I'm going to recall preset 1. Now I've recalled preset 2, so very simple operation. And then there's full MIDI control, MIDI through USB, MIDI through expression jack, just standard MIDI I/O. So 300 presets, you know, instant accessibility, expression pedal, all knobs, you know, morphing and all that kind of thing. So, so that's probably one or two things that I'm forgetting, but that probably. Right now I can't remember what I'm forgetting, so.
Even if you've forgotten something, I think I've learned so much about this, and it is, the best part is we don't even have to wait. I'm seeing people starting to get these in their hands.
Yes, we have started shipping. We briefly sold out. I believe we might be shipping again since we got to the show. I haven't checked back in with the office, but they are out and available, and our website has you know, video content and sound samples. Our manual's up, and we have some frequently asked questions, and we're going to keep building on those frequently asked questions because it's you know, we're getting a lot of you know, questions and input, and we want to kind of make it as easy as possible for people to get the answers to those.
Well, That's fantastic. You heard it here from the man himself, Pete. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. That was a joy to listen to. This thing has basically got soundtracks in a box. You hit a note, create a loop, create atmospheres, and that's what it is. It's all about making music. It's all about exploring. And if you enjoyed this, please show some support. Click the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications. Go check out what Strymon is doing. They are still changing the game every year, it seems. So for the whole of the Strymon team, everybody here at the NAMM show, we wish you all great tone and happy stomping. Cheers, everybody.